Hi, Dr. Diana. I am here today with Dr. Diana Mercado, who is one of our amazing physician coaches in the EntreMD Business School. I'm so glad that you took this time to talk with me today. You wear many hats, and you have quite a few businesses. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Diana Mercado Marmarash. I'm a family medicine physician, and I'm an ADHD life coach for physicians and healthcare professionals who are looking to set up simple systems to leave work at work and reclaim their freedom of time. 3 years ago, I would have never said that last statement because I was somebody who was drowning in like 200 to 300 charts. I didn't realize I was even burnt out. I just thought that that was the normal thing of me living every day. Like I thought that was the norm because I thought that's what it meant to be a female who was also a mom and was, like you said, carrying many hats, like being a clinic medical director or a nursing home director. And when the pandemic hit, I couldn't hide. I was hiding that I was taking me that like 20 to 30 hours outside of work. I couldn't hide that I was doing that much work outside of work, like because all of a sudden you you didn't have all the support that you used to have, for you to be able to do things that I was doing. And I was too embarrassed to say that I was doing that because I thought that it meant something about myself. Like I thought that it meant that I was not like a good physician. And I was too embarrassed to say that out loud or too embarrassed to seek help because again, I thought that was the norm. I thought this is a small price to pay for me to have the privilege to be able to do what I love, which was take care of my patients. And I remember I would always be thinking like, how come somebody can't just record what's going on in the room? Because what happened in the room was amazing. Like, why do I now have to do the patient, like the painful thing of writing the note? And so I was always listening to podcasts on driving back and forth, like an hour a day to my job site. I used that time to listen to something, and I was always wanting to learn how to become a better adult per se, like how to keep my house clean, how to like, not feel like I was half doing everything. And one time I listened to a podcast by 5 physicians who were talking about coaching. And I remember thinking like, coaching, what are they going to tell me to work harder? I already work really hard. Like, what are they going to offer me? But nevertheless, it was actually called Empowering Women Physicians. It was by Dr. Sunny Smith. And I thought, well, I'm a physician. I can be empowered. Like, I'll do it. Like, what do I got to lose, right? And I had everything to gain from that experience because it taught me that how I looked at the world was really up to me, and that anything that could happen, it was how I interpret it and like what I would make it mean. And prior to that, I was thinking that my diagnosis of ADHD was hindering me. I was thinking that nobody should know about that because then they're gonna have a way to pin how I was not a competent doctor. That's what my brain used to tell me.
Wow.
Which of course is not the case. Like ADHD can be a superpower if you know how to unleash it, because we tend to be a little bit stubborn, and when we set our minds to things, there's no stopping us because we are fueled by that passion. And we might have to do A, B, C, D, E, whatever, but we're going to get to the end results if that's what's motivating us. So through that, when I started that coaching group, and it was never my intention to become a coach myself. Nevertheless, when I looked around, I didn't see any other physicians saying that they had ADHD or saying that they could help other physicians who had ADHD. So I decided that my pain would become my process to heal, and then to allow others to do the same. And so it was never my goal to become an entrepreneur. But, you know, podcasts were the thing I was into. And I actually saw Dr. Una coaching some lessons in the EWP, but it wasn't in my cohort. It had been in a previous cohort. And I love the way her mission of helping other physicians to live life on their own terms. And so I started listening to her podcast. And as soon as I graduated from the life coach school in June, I joined Dr. Una's business school. And I've been with her for a year and a half now. In June will be 2 years. So I'm one of her masters now here. And so prior to joining her, I had earned $2,000 in my business. And my first year from August to December, I earned 52. And then the next year from January to December, I earned 177,000. And all this is a side gig, one can say, because I am still working as a full-time family medicine physician. And I actually even got, chief medical officer, but I did step down from being a clinical medical director. So you could say coaching was 15, 20-hour commitment that I was doing on the side. And to many, that might seem crazy, but remember, I was investing 20 to 30 hours outside of work prior to obtaining my charting. So it's not like I was working any harder. It was just now with a purpose, and it was now with an intention. And so it didn't feel like work. It felt fun. And the community that I got in EBS was so collaborative. And not until like recently, I shared with Dr. Una that I realized how collaborative it was, because I was just taking that for granted, because I have been so sheltered from me starting my entrepreneurship to now, that I just assumed that any physician that I would want to reach out to was willing to collaborate, willing to like tell me all their secrets. Like I really tell people all my secrets, all my must not do, and things that would help me, not because I know that even when you give away your recipe, nobody can imitate you. You have your own voice and your own people, and everybody wins if we're all trying to help physicians not have to work as hard, and we all can do it in a different way. But the collaboration that happens in Dr. Una's course is where monthly we're giving challenges, and they really stretch us out of our comfort zone. But you have to realize that growth is optional, and that you sometimes have to be willing to step into those new things that maybe you never thought you would do. A podcast, you never thought you would be on YouTube, you never thought you would be doing a live somewhere. But
Dr. Mercado, I want to interrupt you one little second, sorry, because you brought you've said so many amazing things. I keep saying, oh, I want to tell you something about that. But so many things. First of all, thank you again for coming, because I just love your story. I really do, because you took something that could have been something that, like you said, you didn't talk about it. It's almost like shame. I don't want people to judge me. I don't want people to misinterpret or say, oh, she's that way because she has ADHD. You took something like that. You had a passion for it. And now not only are you using it as your superpower, you're helping other people use it as their superpower. You've made it into a business. And so it's profitable for you, it's profitable for other people. It's just amazing. And I love your journey. You talked about how you came into the EntreMD business school, but when you came to the business school, this is the part I want to talk about because I was like, what happened? You know, you said when you came to the business school, you had only made $2,000 as a coach. And 2000, I shouldn't say only, but you had made $2,000 as a coach. It's not easy to tell people this is what I do, and this is, you know, what I can help you with. So pay me. That's not easy at all. But from there, you know, you said for the first few months that you were in the school, or I think from August to December. So August to December, it's 4 months or so. Then you had built that up to 50,000, which is huge. And then and then for the following year, now you made 170,000 in your business. You know, so that is really amazing. What do you think contributed to that? I know you just talked about the challenges and doing things that, you know, you doing things for free. You didn't think you'd be able to. How do you think the business school helped you do that? You mentioned the challenges, you mentioned the collaboration, you know, which is amazing among the other physicians, and being taken out of your comfort zone, which is great, you know, because before, you know, maybe you weren't doing videos before, maybe you didn't have podcasts before. What else do you think may have contributed?
I think the key thing is investing
Yeah.
in myself, right? All of a sudden, like I just told you, it was me thinking there's not enough time, right? Which we all think that. And believe me, if we allow others to run our life, we're never going to have enough time. So first of
Yes.
all, it was realizing that I did have to use that executive tool that I wanted to ignore, which was planning. That really would be very helpful, because
Yeah.
when you have plenty of time to look ahead, all of a sudden it wasn't an emergency right in this second, right? You could
Yeah.
like give yourself a leeway. And
Mhm.
so investing in myself to learn about my ADHD, I hired a personal coach and a group coach. And then I also invested in a business one-on-one coach. And then I made sure I was in a community like Dr. Una's, where the group was what kept me going. Because while some of the things that we learn on here might seem very simple, it is the implementation and it is the seeing of other people who are trying. And I always say this, and it's true, I think I did 10 to 20% of Dr. Una's challenges. Like that's all I did, because again, I did not have as much as a time as I wish, but whatever I wanted to, but that, like I gave it my all for those 10 or 20%. Like I would show up and do it. And when she said, okay, go get yourself on a platform, and she said 10, I was like, okay, I'll make sure at least I'll die trying, but not literally, because again, it was exciting to be able to talk to all those people and collaborate. And I think it's the community, because we're able to go back and ask, instead of getting stuck and sitting there or doing the research that takes us 3 hours to go down rabbit holes. Like we're able
Yes.
to go back
Yes.
and tap into that resource of amazing physicians who are either a few steps ahead of you or a lifetime ahead of you, it feels like sometimes. And being okay that you're never behind or ahead. We're just all in our own journeys, and realizing that we each have a contribution for each other, and that it doesn't take away if you share your knowledge, because again, you're not meant to tell people what is best for them. They are the best client of themselves, right? They are their
Yes.
own CEOs, but being aware that you do have a non-judgmental community to come to do this at. And so I think it was, again, investing and realizing, like Dr. Una was saying, readers are leaders. And I, of course, had this limiting belief that I don't have time to read, but guess what? I have time to listen, right? So then I could listen to her podcast, or I could listen to the books on Audible that were being said that we were going through, and we all could share our points, and it could land differently. And instead of feeling like a competition, it was more like I am being inspired by seeing amazing physicians doing things and practicing medicine in their own way, in their own terms.
That is so amazing. I'm just so glad that you shared that because, a lot of times people have a dream and they have things that they want to do. They see that their life could be better. They see that their life could be different, or they're frustrated. If they can't see it, they know that what I'm dealing with now is not how I want things to be. How my life is now is not how I want. Like when with all the charting, like you're like, at first you kind of thought, and I think a lot of people do, like, this is just how it is, because you at first you thought, well, I think it's normal to be stressed out, and I'm a doctor, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm also in charge of all these different organizations. It's normal. But you decided, what, no, this got to be better. But you said the key, and that key is investing in yourself. Sometimes when it comes to coaching, people don't see the value in it. They see that, well, maybe I'll just figure it out on my own. But you told us, why take the long road? Why take the long road? Why through trial and error when you can invest in yourself? So what would you say to somebody who is considering the EntreMD Business School, but they're thinking, you know what, I don't really want to pay for that. I don't think I can pay for that. I don't think I should pay for that. What would you say to them?
I would say, go ahead, listen to all of Dr. Una's podcast, and we'll see you here in 3 years when you're finally ready to start, or come join today. No, seriously, of course, what is being shared is sometimes nothing new, but it's not about it being new. Again, it's about the community. And in coaching, you have to realize that all we're looking at is at your mindset, and we're looking at you and your goals. And you have to realize that how much money did we spend in medical school? Like probably anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000, right? And when you made that investment, did you say, oh, well, I'm just gonna see which one's the cheapest one, or I'm just gonna see, if going overseas is like 1/10 the price of being in the US? Of course, everybody has their own journey. I'm not trying to discount one versus another. And any opportunity that came your way, you took it and you made the best of it. Where we're giving you the golden opportunity right here. Of course, you're not going to walk away with a certificate per se, but at the end of the day, you don't need a certificate for other people to see you, see your story, and see your worth. And I know that most of us have been brainwashed, that you're a physician, you should teach for free, and you should do this for free, and you should do pajama for free. And I did the math, and I had spent I wasn't getting compensated about $70,000 a year, and I did that for 10 years. So that's about 700K that I just gave away for charting on my free time. Imagine how much more time you are giving away, or you
Yes.
will give away, for not following your dream, for not deciding that writing that book, creating that online course, leveling up your private practice is
Yes.
an investment that is worth you doing. So in my group coaching, I help physicians leave work at work, and they automatically are able to now be able to have time with their families, to write the book, to do whatever, to be in Dr. Una's course, because some of my clients come from Dr. Una's course, and they realize the importance of being able to do what you want, and really planning out and leveling up your executive functions, and looking at people who are doing what they're doing it, and being able to do it too. And that's the thing, like, you need to realize that you are the best investment. And
Yes.
how much money do we spend on purses? How much money do we spend on our houses and our cars? And like, for what? They depreciate, right? The moment you drive it off the lot, that car starts to depreciate. Now, everything you learn and implement, it's not like it's going to depreciate. You're going to use those tools to be able to network, and your network becomes your net worth. And so it really, you become limitless if you do tap into this community. But yes, it is an investment, and I'm not here to tell you to take that lightly. You need to do it when you're ready to go all in. And even if you're like 10% ready, we'll help you be the other ready, because we're here to do that for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. And I like the fact that you brought up listening to Dr. Una's podcast, because you're right. They could listen to Dr. Una's podcast. And, what she gives you on the podcast is not what they get in the business school. So don't be fooled. And, we get many people that tell us, oh, I listened to the podcast and I was able to get this win. I was able to get that win. I started my business, or I started my own podcast. And that's wonderful. So ask yourself, if you're able to get all of these wins with the free stuff, with the free podcast, imagine if I'm in the school. If the podcast is a 10, the school is 1,000, so it can't compare. And what Dr. Diane Mercado said too was very important, because she said, if you're not ready now, you can come in 3 years, but 3 years would have passed. And those are 3 years that you could have been working towards your dream. Those are 3 years that you could have spent investing in yourself. So don't wait. If you think you are ready, or if you have any questions about the school, if you're wondering, can this work for me? I just started, or can this work for me? I'm already at 7 figures. Put in an application. We'll call you. We'll talk with you. We will work through this together. The link to apply is EntreMD.com/business. Put in the application. I personally will be calling you. We're going to talk about it, and you're going to have a success story similar to Dr. Mercado's. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Dr. Mercado, for this. This has been amazing. And I am looking forward to hearing more and more from you, because I know it's just, like you said, you're limitless. And that's like the buzzword in the business school. I've been hearing that from so many of the students. I'm limitless. I'm limitless. And we really are.
Because our mind fools us all the time. Like it wants to give us little permissions for little wins. But the thing is, the brain does not know the difference between a big win or a little win. So why not dream it up?
Yes, dream it up. I think that's a perfect place to end. Dream it up. And we are here to help you with that dream. EntreMD.com/business. Let's go and do it together. Thank you, Dr. Mercado.